Yes, I am outside. Beautiful outdoors with Mr. Simba Mere. And we were actually just talking now. One of your very good friends won the Mr. South Africa, do you call it a pageant still? Competition.
Yeah, they don't like to hear the pageant.
Competition.
They don't like to hear it. Yes,
Yeah.
Armand.
Armand, it
Congratulations,
all concluded,
brother.
Last night it all went down, and we actually have a bit of a highlight reel because our reporter on the street, Tenji, was there to cover it all for us. Take a look at this.
Armand, first and foremost, we must say congratulations for being Mr. South Africa for 2014-2015. How do you feel about this win tonight?
I'm so excited for the year that lies ahead. I'm over the moon. I can't express my feelings, and I'm just so happy to be standing in this honoured position to represent South Africa and be Mr. South Africa 2014.
What do you think set you apart from all the other contestants?
I think I went on with confidence. If you've got confidence in yourself, other people would also have that confidence in you. So I think what set me apart was my confidence, but also my hard work throughout the year. As we know, Mr. South Africa wasn't just about the final night, but also with all the hard work throughout the year, the past year. So I'm really looking forward to the new year ahead and investing all my energy into that.
So there you have it, South Africa. Your Mr. South Africa of 2015, Armand du Plessis, he's a 25-year-old LLB student right now. He's got his BA in law, and I mean, this is the man carrying the mantle forward.
He's a smart, good-looking man. He's done well, man. I'm proud of him.
Nah, very well done, very well done. But on to the man of the hour right now, who of course is Simba. We were talking about, that's you. We were talking about your success, man, and I think one of the questions that a lot of people that meet you might want to find out is that how have you maintained your humility over these years? Because it started off, you came from humble beginnings, and the next thing you shot to superstardom, you're meeting amazing people, and look, I mean, you're still that humble guy.
I think the biggest thing is, as soon as I'd won and I got home from Mauritius, I said to my parents, listen, you guys are the ones that have to keep me grounded. And I'm so glad that they're there. My sister as well. They just bring me back down to earth every now and then, every time I head sort of floating off into the clouds. So I think it's great that I have that sort of support structure.
Yeah.
Like, I think you're going to have a great support structure to be able to pull this gig off, because it is hectic.
Yeah.
Right? And then at the same time, you just need to realize that reality can also set in, because once you've got this gig, not everything comes to you. You can go for auditions thinking you've won this presenter stage, but it doesn't always work out the way you want it to. So you've always just got to stay humble, man.
Yeah. But talk to me about that, the reality of it all, right? What do you think is it that people out there need to know about it? I mean, is it exactly the way that you pictured it, that it would pan out from the beginning?
Well, I think people assume that we live these millionaire lifestyles. I mean,
But don't be. I'm joking.
You know what I mean? Like you walking around in houses that are worth 45 million rand, and you go back to your little townhouse, or whatever it is. And it's just like, wow, okay, this is real right now. As much as that was great, but this is actually my life. So I think it just forces you to work hard, because you're like, cool, that was aspirational. I want to live that sort of life.
Yeah.
So let me work hard to get there.
Yeah, and I think also one thing that a lot of people need to come to terms with if you're going to be doing this is that, yes, like the parties are glamorous, right? You get to the VIP sections or whatever, but there's a certain amount of kind of control you need to exercise that is overboard more than what a normal person would have to.
Exactly.
Like, you can't go to a party, turn up so much, and then have like paparazzi in your face. Next thing, Hit magazine,
It happened to me. I don't want to talk about it. But it was just one of those, I realized it was literally like in the first few months, I was just like, wow, like the fact that people recognize my face now, I can't do what I want to.
Yeah, there's a lot of responsibility that comes with
Exactly.
the power, if you will. So the hashtag online is hashtag presenter search on 3. Just give us those details quickly of how people can find out more about presenter search.
So if you want to
3.
find out all the dates, go to www.presentersearchon3.com. We can go check out the handle, BeFoundOn3, @BeFoundOn3.
Indeed, and we'll have all those dates for you on our social media sites, Expresso Morning Show, SABC3, and at Expresso Show as well. But let me give them to you very quickly. Cape Town, 13th and 14th of February at the stadium. We've got Port Elizabeth on the 22nd of Feb at the Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium. Durban, 28th of Feb and the 1st of March. We'll still be announcing that venue. And then Johannesburg, 6th, 7th and 8th of March. Also, check out the website for more details on the venue. But we've got more chats with Simba Mere a bit later on. Dude, in your time of being here, have you learned how to cook something? Can you cook?
Dude, I'm a machine in the kitchen.
Really?
No, I'm not even joking.
Oh my word, he's declared himself a machine.
Done.
Okay, well, for those of us
Gordon
out
Ramsay
there,
says.
for those of us out there who still have culinary questions and conundrums, Caitlin is going to be there to answer them for you. In fact, Leanne is with her right now.